Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything entrepreneurship, building and growing a brand. So if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to subscribe down below. Alright, so today we're talking about prices and pricing your product or your services. The idea behind pricing of these two things, so products or services, are quite similar, but we're still going to address them separately in this video just because I think it's very important for those of you that are selling products to know what you have to do, and those of you that are selling a service, that you also have some guidelines on what you can do to make sure that your pricing is done correctly. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so before we start the whole process of determining our price, I think it's very important that you conduct a market research, and there are a lot of companies that do this for other companies or for little entrepreneurs out there, but you don't really have to hire someone to do this for you. You can easily make a survey online and ask people around you, your friends and your family, what they would be willing to pay for a certain product with certain features, and this will kind of give you an idea about how much people are willing to pay for that product that you want to launch or that you want to, get out on the market. When you're trying to price your product, keep in mind that one, you want to cover the costs, and two, you want to make profit. So these two together are going to influence your price. So the first thing that you're going to have to think about are your costs. Like I said, in an ideal situation, the price is, the cost plus the profit. So think about all the costs that you have, and also think about all the overhead costs. So when we think about costs, usually we think about the literal cost, but it's very important to also keep in mind that there are also overhead costs, and I'm thinking about, rent, shipping fees, and other variable costs that are going to come into play when selling your product. You'll have to look at the whole picture in order for you to get to know all of your metrics. This is also going to be important to know how many products or how many items you will need to sell to make a profit, and also to know how much you need to mark up your products. The most easiest thing to do would be to make an Excel sheet and just sum up all of your costs. Okay, so now that you've covered all of your costs, you know exactly how much it's going to cost to make your product and to actually get it on the market. You really want to think about, what is my target revenue? What is the revenue that I want to have between now and a year from now? So think about that target revenue and calculate your costs into that. That way you'll be able to come up with the price that you need to charge your customers in order for you to actually get to your target revenue. So let's say that your product costs $20 and you want to have a revenue of 200 euros, and you think you are expecting that 5 people are going to buy your product. Okay, so this means that you'll have to put the price at $40 in order for you to have a revenue of $200 if 5 people buy your product. Let me just say that the revenue is not the same as the profit, okay? The revenue is your price times the amount of people that buy the product, and your profit is your revenue minus your cost. Okay, so now you figured out what people are trying to pay for or willing to pay for your product. You know your costs and you know your target revenue. You can think about who your target audience really is. Who are the people that you're trying to reach, and in what segments are you going to position your products? Do you want your products to have a more luxury feel, or are you trying to target college students? This will all have an influence and impact on the price that you should handle. So if you're selling handbags and you're targeting the upper class, then you might want to put the price a little bit higher than if you were to target college students. They usually don't have a lot of money, so if you put the price really up there, they're not going to buy your product. So depending on your target market and the nature of your product, you're going to have to choose a price strategy. So the first strategy that I want to talk about is premium pricing. Premium pricing is basically when you have a luxury item that you can put a high price on. If you provide a product that has no competition, you can easily make usage of premium pricing. This is a pricing strategy that will allow you to put the price really up there, and it will generate a lot of income for you. When you're doing this strategy, you need to make sure though that your product is actually a quality product and even the service, everything that goes around with the product, that you really give your customer value and that they really get that luxury experience, and so that they know that the amount of money that they paid for your product is justified through everything that they get for it in return. And because the product itself is also a luxury product that doesn't really have a lot of competition. The next strategy is the penetration strategy. If you have a brand new product or you're entering a brand new market and you know that people are a little bit price sensitive, they don't really want to spend that money, you can choose to start and put your price a little bit lower. This will help you to attract customers, and then when you will have your fan base, your loyal customers, you can then go ahead and up the prices a little bit as time goes along. Okay, so the third pricing strategy that I want to talk to you about is skimming strategy. This means that, you know, for this strategy, you have to have a product that doesn't have any competitors. It has to be a unique product that really differentiates itself from all of the other products just because of what the product is. So in essence, it's a product that doesn't have any competition. And because of that, you can also put the price very, very high. People are going to buy that because they'll be thinking like, I need it. There's no other product like it. And you'll be able to get a lot of revenue for a certain amount of time, because after some time, people are going to copy you, and there will be fakes, or not even fakes, but like people are going to copy you and put out similar products, and then you'll have to lower your prices because there will be a lot of similar products on the market. But until then, you can still put your prices up there. And the difference between this, so the difference between skimming pricing and premium pricing, is that with premium pricing, you're actually selling high-end quality products, while with skimming products, you're using products that don't really have any competition. So yeah, that's the difference. There are a lot of variations on these strategies, and you can actually mix and match depending on the products that you have in your portfolio. So my next tip would be to take a look at your direct competitors. When you've done the math of how much everything is going to cost you, I highly recommend that you take a look at the prices of the competitors. Because if they're able to sell the same thing as you for a lower price, then maybe you should go back and check your business costs and see what you can do to lower those in order for you to also lower the price. But you won't always be able to compete with your competitors in, with the prices, because they might have like equipment that they already paid off, so they can now offer lower prices to their customers. So you won't always be able to compete with them in prices. Then you'll have to be creative and compete in, services, offer better services. So it's good to look at the competitors, but you will not always be able to compete with them in prices or with the prices. And then the last thing that I would say when pricing a product is to not get stuck on a price, because business evolves, economy evolves, people's preference evolves. So you should definitely often take a look at your prices. And you can also change your pricing strategy if you want to, mix it up a little bit. It's your business, so you can basically do anything you want. But I would highly recommend that you keep an eye on those prices and don't keep them fixed, because, everything evolves. All right, so we talked about how to price a product. Now let's go over how to price a service. In essence, it's basically the same thing. All of the steps that we did for a product, you can do them as well for a service. But for a service, I feel like there are a few extra steps that you need to take in order for you to have, a good pricing of the services that you're offering. So we're going to go over them right now. Okay, so pricing a service is a little bit more difficult than pricing a product, because when you think about the costs, it's a little bit more difficult to actually quantify the cost that you have when you're providing a certain service. So the first thing I would say is to consider the time you've invested or that you're investing in the service. Think about the time that it takes you, or the time that you'll spend on the project for your customer. The longer you spend on the project, the more you should earn, which is, I think that's normal, but you should really think about that. So it's very important to see how long a certain project takes you so that you can come up with a fair pricing. Also consider how long you've actually been in the industry, because the longer you've been in the industry, the more experience that you have. And when you have more experience, you can actually put your price a little bit higher. So that is also something that I would think about. So if you build your portfolio, you've done, you've done some projects, and now you're offering different services, your time becomes limited, especially if you're working by yourself. So when that is happening, I also think that you can up the price a little bit and charge your customers a little bit more. Okay, so what is also very important is to decide if you're going to charge like an hourly rate or if you're going to charge a rate for the whole project. If you're confident in the amount of time that you're going to spend on a project, then you can definitely go ahead and, find a rate for the whole project. But if you're uncertain, you don't really know, am I going to spend 2 hours or 4 hours or maybe even 6 hours on this project for this customer, then I think it's better to have an hourly rate. So this also depends on the industry that you're in, because if you're a psychologist, you might charge an hourly rate, and I think that they actually do that. But if you are a graphic designer, you might want to charge like a rate per project. It all depends. Okay, so if you're selling your services, then I think that you can definitely make usage of tiered pricing. And it's basically a pricing model that is used to show all of your services within a certain price range. So once you fill up a tire, you move up to another tire, and usually there are 3 tires. So best, standard, and premium, or whatever you want to call them. But this way, it's a way to differentiate your price and attract more customers. Not all of the customers want the same service or need the same thing. So as I said, the most popular structure of the tire model is the 3-tire model, I think it's called. And it consists of 3 tires. The first one being the basic. This tire will allow your customers to start with your services, to get to know you how you work. So the standard tire is usually a combination of the basic tire with some advanced features, and it usually is the tire that is the most affordable for your customer, or at least it's the tire where they get the most bang for their buck. So usually a lot of customers will go for this tire. The last tire is a premium tire with the whole shebang, all of your services done for the same customer. Usually this is a tire that big companies are going to take, or if you have a customer that really knows what they want, this is the tire that they're going to take. But I would say that, splitting your services up in these tires are going to attract more customers, because people are going to know that, okay, they can get your help, your services, even for a more affordable price. And if they want the whole shebang, they can also come to you. Okay, so the last thing I want to address within this pricing video is that you should really check your hours, the hours that you worked, and see if you overprice or if you underprice your work. Especially if you want to get better at pricing your services, it's very important to track the hours that you did and see if you didn't overestimate or underestimated the amount of hours that you were going to have to put in for this project, and if your original estimate was accurate. So if you track your hours and you see that you're constantly overestimating or constantly underestimating the time that you have to put in for projects, then it's wise, and you should do this to adjust your prices accordingly. Alright, you guys, I hope you liked my video about how to price your product or your service. If you like this video, please thumbs up this video and share it on your social media. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like this type of content, please make sure to check out my blog. It's keliamayoka.com. I talk about similar content. I also have a podcast which is called Everything Entrepreneurship by Kelia Mayoka. I also talk about similar content, everything entrepreneurship. I think that the name says it all. And I also post a lot of stuff on my Instagram page, which is called Kelia Mayoka. So you can go ahead and follow me over there. And then in the meantime, I'm going to say goodbye to you on this platform, but we can definitely talk on the other platforms. All right, you guys, I'm going to thank you for watching, and then I'll see you in my next one.